Okay, so we go back all over again. Okay, it's about analyzing qualitative data, the thematic analysis and synthesis. And as we know that thematic analysis is where you analyze text-based data. It can be from the interview, it can be from the transcript. And what we want to find is that we want to find the common themes, topics, ideas, and pattern. Okay. There are several types of thematic analysis, inductive versus deductive, or it can be semantic thematic analysis, or latent thematic analysis. But usually in most of PhD research, we are using inductive and deductive thematic analysis. In other area, might be if you want to get totally based on the surface meaning of the data, it can fall under semantic thematic analysis. While the other types is called latent. Latent is where you got meaning behind the data. It's not only verbatim towards based on what they have been said by the respondent. Semantic is totally based on what has been said by the respondent. So for the inductive and deductive, usually deductive is a theory-driven approach. Like for example, if you conduct a content analysis, you already have set specific themes that you would like to identify from your data. For example, let's say I want to identify the type of cognitive engagement from the students that I interview. So I might going to use content analysis, or I might going to use deductive thematic analysis, where you can actually analyze the data based on the theory that you set. For example, I set it as cognitive engagement. I already have the themes, I already have the category. Then I just identify from the data where is the response belong to this type of cognitive engagement category and so on. That is deductive thematic analysis. Okay, meaning that you already set the themes. The themes are guided by the existing concept. Okay, so can someone mute in the Webex, please? I think there's interference from it. Okay, so that is deductive, where you already have predetermined codes to the data. You already have your code book. You already have the description of the themes where you would like to categorize all the text-based data into which category based on the predetermined themes. While the inductive is totally data-driven approach, where you don't have a themes, but based on all the qualitative data, you will formulate the theme. The themes emerge directly from the data. It's totally free from preconceived theory. Data are not coded to fit a pre-existing coding frame, and it's also known as a bottom-up analytic strategy, while deductive is more on top-down approach. Okay, so that's why some researchers say that if you are totally concentrate on inductive thematic analysis, you are totally conducting pure qualitative research. But if you only use deductive thematic analysis, it looks like your research is not really pure qualitative. Usually people are using mixed method. They are using might be the deductive, but you can use the inductive if you want. Okay. So we will focus on the deductive and inductive, or more on that. You can combine. If you combine, it becomes adaptive. Adaptive, because it comes from the reasoning. We have the inductive reasoning, we have the deductive reasoning. Okay, so thematic analysis for the research philosophy. You have to know. Ali boleh zoom sikit lagi tak? Gambar. Okay, thematic analysis from the research philosophy perspective. Okay. Actually, if you do deductive, Deductive says that it's reflect more on positivistic philosophy. You know that positivist philosophy is focusing on quantitative, isn't it? You already predetermine the nature of the data because you already have you have your teams. So deductive analysis reflect more on positivist or instantaneous approach philosophy, while the inductive is more reflecting on the interpretivism approach philosophy, research philosophy. You know that qualitative is interpretivism, isn't it? Totally you explore. Okay, that's why some qualitative researcher, if you do deductive analysis, thematic analysis, you say that this is not a qualitative research. They only say that qualitative research using inductive. Okay, meaning that you can claim your research is mixed method if you are using deductive, a thematic analysis. So the pure qualitative researcher, they want you to use inductive. But in education, sometimes we use deductive, thematic analysis. Okay. So this is the continuum of thematic analysis. It can be purely qualitative if your thematic analysis fall under inductive thematic analysis. It might be only partially qualitative if you actually use deductive thematic analysis. Okay. And this is where some researchers like Brown and Clark classified inductive thematic analysis as a reflexive thematic analysis. Okay, so in inductive, you start with observation. You don't have any ideas on what kind of themes that you will formulate it. Okay, but you have your research question. Okay, you have your observation. You identify the pattern. Then you have a tentative something like, it's not a hypothesis, it's something like assumption. Then you will formulate the theory. That is inductive. But the other way around, you already have the theory. Remember, I say that I already have, I want to identify the patterns of cognitive engagement among the students. I already have the themes for cognitive engagement, which is the theory. The theory is already there. I just want to test the theory by analyzing the existing qualitative data. I observe it and I confirm it. Okay. Usually, when you do deductive analysis deductive thematic analysis, I advise you to also a little bit open your mind on analyzing the data, because some of the examiner, when you use totally deductive, okay, it will ask you, is there any other new themes that come up from your text-based data? And sometimes in your mind, you already set your mind totally you are using deductive, so you ignore some of the new themes that will come up from your data, which actually can be done through inductive. So I suggest you, if you use deductive, although you want just to identify the cognitive engagement pattern among the students, but you can just open a little bit your mind, might be you can identify new pattern. Okay, so that is where you need to aware on it. So in the thematic analysis, there are any question I will answer later on. Okay. In thematic analysis, there are many what you call it, researcher who introduce how to analyze the text-based data. The popular one is Brown and Clark in 2006, and Brown and Clark also has been revised its step. New articles have been produced by Brown and Clark in 2012, if I'm not mistaken. Boyaziz is another popular reference that you can refer. Guess, Novel, Wes Moradi, and the latest one by is Clark and Brown. The latest one is Clark and Brown 2021. The same researcher, but this time around Clark has been the first author lah. Okay, you can see that for Brown and Clark, you can use it for both types of thematic, either inductive or deductive. Boyaziz also, but Guess is mostly on deductive. Novel is on inductive. Wes Moradi is on inductive and deductive. By Clark and Brown is more on inductive. Clark and Brown 2021 is more on inductive and flexible. Okay. And you can see that the use context here is where usually Brown and Clark popular in education and Boyer's is also popular in education. Okay, this is a 6-step of thematic analysis under Brown and Clark that had been produced in 2006, where you start by familiarizing yourself with the data, you generate the codes, you generate the themes by comparing the codes, you review the themes, you define and name the themes, and you produce the report. Another researcher, the latest one in 2023 by Naim tried to adapt. He's tried to revise Brown and Clark 6 steps of thematic analysis. Naim introduced it as step 1 as transcription, step 2 as selection of keywords, step 3 as coding, step 4 as theme development, step 5 as conceptualization, step 6 is development of conceptual model. So any step, you can use any step that you want, but you must have a justification. But most qualitative researcher, they actually favor towards Brown and Clark. Okay, in thematic analysis, you have the text-based data, which is actually qualitative data. You identify the codes, and after that, you compare the codes iteratively to come up with the themes. Okay, that is what you do in thematic analysis. Okay, let us try 6 steps by Brown and Clark. In the first and second step, first we have to familiarize with the data. How do you familiarize with the data? You have to arrange the data in a systematic way, meaning that you get it from the interview, you have to transfer the data from the interview into a systematic way of saving the data. For example, you have to label it. This is respondent 01. What times that you interview? This is the second or the first time that you interview. What is the question that you interview? How long that you interview? And what are the answer from the what you call it, from the video audio recorder and so on, or you type it, everything. You familiarize with the data. After that, you generate the code. For example, on the left, you can see that this is how I arrange the data. Participant 1, the ID P01, Sarah Lim. That's the name of the respondent that I interview. Age, gender, grades, date of interview, transcript, review, yes. Meaning that I review the transcript, I make sure that I understand everything. This is the interview transcript. Now on the right, I start to code the qualitative data. Okay, I start to code. For example here, I use P1 because it's participant 1. C1 is the first theme that come up from the data. SSL is stand for step-by-step learning. So I just put it SSL. That's my coding. So here, the one that I highlighted in gray is actually the first code that I get if I want to answer how do students use the learning module in learning calculus to enhance critical thinking. Meaning that I have a research question, how do students use the learning module in learning calculus to enhance critical thinking? Remember, when you analyze qualitative data, you have to know what is your research question. Okay, don't just analyze it and suddenly the themes that formulated from your qualitative data are not going to answer your research question, isn't it? So my research question is that I want to identify how do they use the learning module. So that's why my question in the interview, I ask them might be, how do you use the learning module? So they tell it, for example, Sarah Lim said that I usually use the learning module to understand calculus concept step by step. So that is the first code that I come up from the interview data, step by step. The second one is the yellow one. So I put it here. That's why I have P1 is the same, still the first participant, but code 2, and I put it as IP. You can use this code as 01 also, but I don't want it to use 01 because after that I have to find what is 01. Okay, so IP is interactive example or practice and quiz to interactive example and quizzes to practice and apply. The green one is the third quotes that I get from this data, the hint assists on analyze problem deeply. So I put a hint assist problem. P1, participant 1, okay. Quote 3, and what is the quote? And quote 4 is about the blue color, questioning my learning step. So this is the first data. That's why you cannot interview only one respondent, because the data is not going to be saturated unless that's the only participant that meant to be for your data. Okay, a unique case. Okay, but you have to interview more than one time, because the second time the data will support on the first interview. Okay, this is the first participant. The second participant, okay, I get it, the gray one. Okay, so this is a code number 5. Remember, this is code number 5. Code number 4 is QLS. Code number 5 is real world application. I highlight it also in gray. Okay, this code's number 5. Code number 6 is concept to practice. Okay, code number 7 is the green one. I put it deeper reflection. Okay, now what I did is that I just analyzed all the respondent one by one. Okay, unless you are conducting totally qualitative research, you only have 5 respondents. Okay, then what you're going to do is that the first interview, you analyze all the 5 and you start to identify the theme from these 5 from first session. You're done with that, then you go for the second session of interview. That one is the totally qualitative. This is just to show you how I code it. The third participant, okay, the code number 8 is revision and solving practice problem. And code number 9, the yellow one, is immediate feedback assist reasoning. And code number 7, sorry, number 10, so it should be number 10, okay, should be number 10 here. Let me make a correction in it. Yeah, this is going to be number 10. Okay, number 10 is going to be critically evaluate thought process. That is number 10. Okay, so let's say I have 3 respondents only. Okay, if I have 40, if I keep doing it, we're not going to finish our session. Okay, from now, I'm done with the codes. I'm done with the codes. Next, I move it to the step number 3, generating themes from the codes. So what I can do is that this is all the codes. The last one is number 10. It's not number 7. From here, okay, I have all the list of the codes. Okay, this one, all the codes, and I start to formulate the theme. Okay, the one in the green color, I categorize it. When I look at the codes, it looks like similar, which I can set it as scaffolded learning through structured support. Step by step, use interactive example, concept to practice, is something like scaffolded learning through structured support. Okay, and the yellow one is, sorry, the blue one is hint, analyze problem, questioning my learning step, deeper reflection, immediate feedback. I put it as deep thinking and meta connection. Because you know that when you questioning your learning step, that is meta connection, isn't it? You ask about yourself back. So that is the yellow one. I put it as deep thinking and meta connection. How do I know this? I must have knowledge on this. Okay, the yellow one is real world connection and application, because it's just focusing on real world application. And after that, revision and solving practice problem. So I done with the teams. 3 teams come up with from 10 codes. Okay. The next step is not done yet. It's not done yet. The next steps that I need to review the team, whether the team is actually meaningful or not. Okay. Whether the team is really correct or not. Okay. Or whether it's actually aligned with my research question. So what I do next is that, okay, wait, okay, what I do next is that from the teams, okay, I can report it. This is the code. This is the code. I just put it teams code, and after that, I start to analyze it. Okay, I start to report it. I will report it like this way. This table you should have in your what you call it, in your findings or result chapter. So I start have it there, and I start to put the codes, and I start to put a sample of the accept, at least two sample from participant one, and again from participant one. You can use a combination, and you can fill in the column or the sample of the accept based on the data that you quotes before this. Okay. Next, you define. Okay, you define and naming the themes. Okay, I need to define the theme. What does the theme means? The themes for number one, scaffolded learning through structured support, is something like when the learning module provides structured guidance through feature like step-by-step interactive quiz. These features scaffold student understanding. Okay, that is, then I have the key codes there. Participant one, codes one, and codes two. And the narrative summary I have down there. Okay. And for themes number two, it come from participant one, participant two, participant three again, but come from different what we call it, codes. And I define it, what does deep thinking and meta connection is all about. And same goes to the real world connection and application. I need to define it. I need to define what does the theme mean based on how I analyze the code. Okay. Next, you need to produce the report. Okay. When you produce the report, okay, usually when you report it, and there are many ways to do it. One of it, you just put it in the text space. You say that students consistently emphasize the value of learning model structured design. The step-by-step approach and interactive example provided a sense of guided learning that make complex concept more accessible. Then you start to put the accept as an example from Sarah, participant one, and again from Sarah, or maybe you can add participant two. Same goes for the second theme. You report it and what is the theme is all about, and you give an example of the accept. And also you can continue for theme number three. Okay. Other way to report it, some people are reported like this. Okay. If I use this, you are using deductive thematic analysis, because I start to calculate. On this is where if you report in terms of systematic literature review article, I start to calculate the frequency. Then it become deductive thematic. Like this, then you can report it like this. You have themes. You might be have sub-themes. Then you have codes. This is known as thematic map. If you report it like this, people call it as thematic map. Even in NVivo also, you can formulate thematic maps. Like this, I might have themes and code, but I don't have sub-themes. Like this, on the left, you can see that the themes and the codes, and the themes and the codes, okay? Or I can report it like this. Okay, if you are review articles, you report it like this. Okay, or I can report it like this from NVivo. I can report it like this. It actually have a thematic themes, and NVivo can generate it automatically. Okay, now you can also do the advanced level of thematic analysis. Remember my findings. Okay, my finding. Remember my findings here. This one, the last finding of my here. Okay, this is the codes and the themes. So I can also report advanced level. Okay, which is actually in advanced level, you will go to this another step. Not only themes you formulate, you will formulate the model and frameworks. That is where the relationship, this is where this is optional, but if you can do that, that's good, because it reach out to the level of abstraction. So what I did is that I move it to the next one, what you call it, the analytical themes. Before this, the themes that I formulated is more reflecting on descriptive themes. When I go to the analytical themes, I try to explain the themes based on the concept or might be theoretical insight. Remember, I have the theme scaffolded learning through structured support. deep thinking and meta-connection, real-world connection and application. So if I look at this, it actually reflects certain theories, isn't it? So like for example, scaffolded might be it reflect the ZPD and scaffolding. If I deep thinking and meta-connection might be it reflect meta-cognitive learning theory by Flavel. Okay, real world connection, it might be reflect experiential learning by Copes or problem solving theory by Bransford. Why do I need this? At a PhD level, when your research is totally qualitative, at the end of it, you need to triangulate back to the theory, isn't it? So you able to map it, your teams to the theory criteria or principle of certain theory. And this is a justification while you actually align it with certain theoretical lens. Okay. So another way, if you reach up to the advanced level of reporting the themes, when you look at the analytical themes, you try to look at the connection among the themes. The green one is the theme. The one in this white round rectangle box is the code. So you try to look at the connection among the theme. That is where you move it from descriptive theme to analytical theme. Okay, you can do this also to report it. When you do this, you relate theme number 2 with some of the sub-theme from theme number 1. Okay, this is where you do the analytical thematic analysis, thematic analytical themes, not descriptive only. Okay, you can do this also. Some people, they report it in a form of thematic maps like this. Some is reporting it like this. Okay, where the round one is the theme. Okay, the one that with a round rectangle box is the sub themes, and with a link to the sub theme and relationship between the themes. Okay, they get it from that. That is where you reach up to analytical themes. Okay, you can report it like this also. Okay, you have the structured qualitative data become codes, from codes become category, from category become themes, and now it next is become theory. Okay, or you can do like this. Okay, the conceptualization of it, and at the end of it, you can develop a conceptual model. Okay, you can do that like this also, the thematic map, or like this. Okay, it has the statement of quotation, the keywords, the codes, and the theme, and at the end of it, it has interpretations and conceptualization of the themes on the perspective of theory. Okay, all like this. They also can report it like this. Okay, you can report it thematic maps like this. So it depends on how you're going to report your thematics analysis finding. Okay, some of you might be think about what is open, axial, and selective coding. Okay, actually, when you conduct thematic analysis, okay, thematic analysis per se, you do not need a formal coding like the one in grounded theory, unless you claim that your research design is totally qualitative based on interpretivism research philosophy, then you are using grounded theory as your research design. When you use grounded theory as a research design, it is a must for you to have axial, open, axial, and selective coding. Okay, if you don't use grounded theory research design, it's just enough for you to do a thematic analysis only. Okay, so what is open coding is line by line coding. Okay, but axial coding is looking at the relationships of the codes and become category. While selective coding is you only identify the core category that unites at all category, unites all other category, and then you start to write the storyline. Usually, you only use these 3 types of coding if you claim that your research design is grounded theory. Okay, if you say that you are using thematic analysis, no need for you to use open coding, axial coding, or selective coding. Okay, because selective coding, open coding, and open action and selective coding is actually introduced by Glaser and Strauss, meant to be for grounded theory. Okay, so this is the way that you can see open coding from it become actual, where you have codes, you reduce the codes to certain numbers, and you you reduce the code to become several selective codes or theme. Okay, that is open actual selective coding. Okay. Okay, before I move to thematic synthesis, let me stop share first. I just want to see, is there any question? Okay, deductive approach. Deductive approach is usually not used in quantitative research. You are correct, but deductive approach, not deductive thematic analysis. Deductive approach. There are words on it. Inductive approach, deductive approach. Actually, it comes from reasoning. Deductive reasoning, inductive reasoning, or adaptive reasoning. So if you use deductive thematic analysis, you are actually, you can claim you are partially qualitative research. Okay, because those who actually pure qualitative researcher, they only use inductive thematic analysis. Okay, any question on thematic analysis from the WebEx and from the face-to-face in the lab? Anyone would like to ask on what we call it, thematic analysis? Before I move to thematic synthesis, what are the difference between thematic analysis and thematic synthesis? So meaning that in thematic analysis, you can see the step, you have to go through all the 6 steps. Okay, if you claim that you follow Brown and Clark, usually to be safe, just use Brown and Clark lah. Because most of the professors, they want you to use Brown and Clark. Okay, anyone would like to ask question? The one that I would like to stress is that the way that you analyze it. For example, this one, you can see that when I show you how to analyze it, can you see that here? This is how you analyze it. You do it. Okay, you do it line by line, you do it line by line. After that, you categorize it, you come up with a theme. I will show you ChatGPT can help you to identify the codes and identify the themes. Okay, I will show you later on. Okay, and you reviewing the theme. You reviewing the theme might be this theme. You edit it a little bit. Okay. Might be if I'm not mistaken, supposed to be this theme is theme number 2. Supposed to be is not deep thinking. It's about thinking. But then after that, I revise it to become deep thinking. I'm really sorry. I might be copy paste this with the same table. Okay. After that, you identify the themes and code, and you can report it like this. You must have this table inside your result chapter. Okay, I stop share it. How can we make sure that our thematic is good enough by intercoder? Okay, yeah. There is an issue also for thematic analysis where you have to run the validity and reliability of your thematic analysis. I will show you later on. That is the third part in the PowerPoint. Yes, intercoder reliability is one of the methods to make sure that what you quote is similar with other people, if they're going to quote the qualitative data. That is intercoder reliability. You have two experts. One is you, another one is might be it can be your supervisor, it can be your friends who also expert in doing qualitative data analysis. You can do that together with your friends, and after that you compute what we call it, either the percentage of agreement between the 2 coders, or you can actually compute what you call it Cohen kappa. Okay, could you share example or criteria for identifying and defining meaningful themes from qualitative data? It depends on your research question. What are the research questions that you want to identify? Remember also, For those who doing might be a quantitative research, and then you have research question, okay, and you have theoretical framework. And quantitative research, you must have a theoretical framework, isn't it? So your theoretical framework will guide your meaningful themes. For those who do research totally qualitative, pure, radical qualitative researcher, they don't have theoretical framework. But nowadays I can see that some of the researcher, when they claim that they are doing qualitative research, they still have theoretical framework. For me, it's okay. But if your examiner is totally radical qualitative researcher, they don't want you to have theoretical framework, but they refer theory as a benchmark when they analyze the data. When they analyze the data. Okay, Doctor, if we have different groups of participants, then at the end, we should create all of them under the same team. Yes, it must be under the same team. Or we will also have different groups of team. No, you're not going to have a different group of team. You're going to have a same team unless you say that your groups, it might be one is student, one is teacher. Totally different groups, okay? If the group is only class A and class B, then you must have a similar team. But if a group, let's say group 1 is teacher, group 2 is student, okay, you have a different teams, but after that, you can see the relationship between the teams from teachers and student. If you can come up with a similar teams, that is the best team formulation for thematic analysis. Okay, I hope I answer some of your questions in the Okay, I will continue. Sorry. Okay, let me start to share. Now you can hear me, isn't it? Can someone confirm in the WebEx? Because, okay. So let me share it. What's next is what is synthesis and what is thematic synthesis. What is thematic synthesis? Okay. Thematic synthesis, okay, has been introduced by Thomas and Haddon. Usually, thematic synthesis is where it is kind of similar like thematic analysis, but you actually use thematic synthesis where you systematically bring together the finding of qualitative research. Usually, when you identify and synthesize key themes across multiple qualitative study, usually when you conduct your systematic literature review. Remember? You do systematic literature review. Some paper of systematic literature review, they claim they use thematic analysis. But actually the best method is thematic synthesis, not thematic analysis. Okay, some journals, I still remember, I received a comment from the reviewer saying that you use thematic analysis in your systematic literature review article. Well, the best method is thematic synthesis by Thomas and Haddon. In thematic synthesis, you can read a detailed article by Thomas and Haddon below there, because it's a method for thematic synthesis of qualitative research in systematic review. Okay, it's systematic review. So it has 3 steps: free line by line coding, organization of free codes to construct descriptive themes, and the development of analytical themes. That is thematic analysis, meaning that if you have interview data, you use thematic analysis. But if you want to do systematic literature review article, you're supposed to be claimed that you are using thematic synthesis. Okay, but you can also claim thematic analysis if you want. But some journal, they want it to be the correct data analysis method. Okay, in thematic synthesis is introduced by Thomas and Haddon. Okay, sorry. In coding text line by line, you extract the finding from the result and code them inductively. You code them inductively. Each line is given one or more descriptive code. Then after that, you develop descriptive team. You group the similar codes to form teams that summarize participant view across study or summarize the finding across study. Okay, and lastly, you will generate the analytical teams, the new insight or interpretation from several descriptive teams become analytical teams. Then you might go into the teams. For example, you might go into ask teams men in relation to the review questions or conceptual frameworks that you would like to produce. Okay, and in thematic synthesis, you extract the data, you do the codes data, you translate codes into team, and you create a modes or higher order team. This is actually analytical team. Okay, this is actually the process. Many pages of text, many segments of text, you focus on result only. Codes become teams and becomes analytical teams. Only 5 to 7 analytical team. And you can report it like this. You can report it like this, the maps, or you can report it like this. Down here, you report it, the analytical teams. And you would like to see the connection among the teams. This is example of analytical teams that you can come up from the descriptive team. Connection, where it comes from 3 descriptive teams, meeting someone who cares, receiving a confirmation of feeling, being acknowledged as a human being. That is connection. I categorize it as connection. Okay, this is another way to represent your analytical teams if you do systematic literature review article. Okay, and usually you have the critical analysis table like this. You highlight it, and when you highlight this, it becomes the codes. And from codes, it becomes teams and analytical team. And this is example of where you do systematic literature review. This is another example where you do. Here you start to analyze the similar result become codes, and several codes will become teams, and several teams become the analytical teams. Usually you use it in systematic literature review article. Okay, some tools for you to do the what you call it, thematic synthesis from review of article. You can use Elicit. Okay, some of you know very well Elicit, because when you upload all the articles that you want to review, Elicit will automatically find extract the finding, but it's not code yet. It's extract the finding. After that, you need to do some codes. You can use also Sky Space, okay, similar like Elicit, or you can use Site, okay, or you can use Chat PDF to find some point, and then this is the differences between thematic analysis and thematic synthesis. Thematic analysis is based on interview data, single sets of data, but thematic synthesis is about multiple qualitative study. It's meant to be for systematic literature review. Okay. Okay, the validity and reliability of thematic analysis and synthesis. You have to mention on these 5 aspects. Okay, first, the triangulation. Okay, you need to mention how do you use triangulation to increase the validity of the theme formulation, meaning that the data is saturated. Okay, so that is where the triangulation. Member checking is another method for validity and reliability, where you involve sharing the finding or analysis with participants, meaning that when you, okay, for example, let's say I have 10 sessions of interview, okay, and my numbers of students that I would like to interview might be only 5 students. The first section that I already interviewed, I get all the data. I have to analyze it. Before I go for the second interview, I analyze it, I get codes, and I get teams. Okay, member checking is where during my second interview, I will explain to the participant, based on your first interview, can I claim your tax here as this code? And they say, yeah, that is what I mean. And that is member checking. You check back with the participant. And you check back with the participant. Peer review is another methods. Coding reliability, that is the intercoder reliability or inter-rater reliability. And reflexivity is another methods that you can use for validity and reliability of your, for your thematic analysis. And for the inter-rater reliability or coding reliability, okay, this is a technique where, for example, you have rater 1, rater 2. Okay, let's say you have two teams, normal and abnormal. Okay, so rater 1 might be says that from the list of the data, 147, okay, respondent or what, it become normal. Abnormal is how many? So when you can calculate this Cohen kappa by using this formula. Okay, it will start to compare it. If you want to produce the percentage of agreement, you only going to add the one that both rater agree. This is actually 147, both rater says is normal, okay, and 62 is both rater says that abnormal. So you just need to add it, 147 plus 62, divide by the total of codes or total of might be respondent, and you get it 0.94, meaning that the percentage of agreement between two raters is 94%. 0.94, if you convert it to percentage, it become 94%. If you want a more detail like Cohen kappa, this is how you're going to calculate the Cohen kappa value. If the Cohen kappa is, there is a way to interpret it, the Cohen kappa, based on the tables that show that whether your Cohen kappa is, show that your thematic analysis is valid, reliable or not. You can refer to this YouTube if you want to learn more details about how to calculate a Cohen kappa value. Okay, this is how to interpret the Cohen kappa, meaning that if the Cohen kappa between the range of 0.8 to 0.9, meaning that the level of agreements is strong. Same goes also, if you don't want to calculate the Cohen kappa, you just want to calculate the percentage of agreement, the way that you're going to read it, if the agreement is between 64 to 81, meaning that it's a strong agreement among two raters, meaning that reliability of your thematic analysis is high and strong. Okay. Okay, and okay, to assist you, I set up one chatbot known as Thematic Analysis Buddy. You can find it through what I call it Explore GPT. If you go to GPT, you go to Explore GPT, you find this Thematic Analysis Buddy. I already put it there, so you can use this to guide you based on 6 steps of Brown and Clark on analyzing data. I can show you, but you have to wait how to use it. Okay, but let me stop share it. But to do that, I need to log in WebEx also using my notebook because, okay, just wait for a while. Let me try to show you how to use the chatbot that I produce for the researcher. While waiting for that, just wait for a while. I need to log in WebEx. Wait, just wait. Okay. Can I do that? Wait, just wait for a while. I need to get in WebEx using my second device so that I can show you. Let me try to ask questions, to answer questions, sorry. Do we have to use all these 5 methods? No, you do not need to use all 5 methods. If you use one of it, that's enough, Sumera. Okay, if you say that you use inter-rater, that's enough, okay? Do we conduct Cohen kappa before the actual? No, you conduct the Cohen kappa after the interview. After you done the interview. Okay? After you done the interview, because you get the data and you start to code the data, isn't it? And then you formulate the themes. You just want to make sure that your themes that you formulated is reliable. Meaning that other coder or other rater, if they're going to code the same data, they will come up with the same one. So I suggest you to do the interview first. Okay, to do the interview first, and then the first data that you get from the interview, for example, okay, it depends. It depends on how many interview sessions that you have. If you have 10 interview sessions, after you've done the first interview, you do the iterator. But if you only have one interview session, because sometimes you are doing mixed method, isn't it? You only have one research question that involve qualitative data. Kan? You only have one interview session. If you only have one interview session, how many respondents they interview? Let's say you interview 10 respondents. So my suggestion is that based on the first respondent, you come up with the codes and theme. Then you do that for the second respondent. You do that for the third respondent. Then you do the iterator before you continue for the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and 10 respondent. Okay, participant. Okay, for the data validation and gap analysis, can we use comparison interview 1 versus interview session 2 along with literature review, then we conduct Cohen Kappa. This is for for the data validation and gap analysis. Can we use comparison of interview 1 versus interview session 2 along with literature review, then we conduct Cohen Kappa. What do you mean by that? Sorry, sorry, Shafora. There are three important things here. I'm not sure. Can you simplify your question? Because after that, you have along with literature review, then we conduct Cohen Kappa. Because Cohen Kappa is only, you compute it between two raters. Between two raters. How come you insert literature review? I did not know. So you need to simplify it. Sephora, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, what else? Can we do the iterator for focus group? Yes, you can do. In a focus group discussion, okay, in a focus group discussion, okay, you set one session where the expert be there in the same session, okay? And you know that to do focus group discussion, there's a technique to do it. So from the first expert, you get this finding. For the second expert, you get this finding, isn't it? For the third expert, you get this finding. So when you start to quote the finding from the first expert, and then you come up with and then you do quotes for the second expert, and you come up with the themes, then you can do the iterator. You ask your friends to be the second rater or second coder that going to verify the process of you quotes and formulate the themes. And you can do that, okay? Because group discussion, focus group discussion also involve qualitative data. I did iterator for pilot study before the actual interview. You can do that if you want, but then might be the data that you use for pilot study might be it's not the real data that you get from the interview. Of course, can. If you do that earlier, before you do an interview, you are not doing the iterator reliability on the actual data. So your pilot study data might be different from your actual data. So how come you're going to get, can you prove that the way that you code and formulate the themes from the actual interview is totally have a strong reliability? Muhammad Arif, for me, I suggest you to do the iterator for the actual interview, not on the pilot study, because might be the finding from pilot study is different. Because in pilot study, you just want to see other thing. But in the actual interview, that is the one that you will interview them based totally on your research question. Mungkin might be during pilot study, you just want to ask them, if I ask this question, can you answer it? So it's not an actual data. Muhammad Arif. Okay, let me join. Okay, wait. I need to just wait for a while. I'll show you how to use the customized ChatGPT, the thematic analysis body. Okay, I need to start. Okay, let's see. Just wait for a while. Okay. I'm not sure why my webpage like this because I don't want to log in my what you call it, my chat GPT using the computer that has been connected to this projector and also the microphone. Just wait for a while. Can I join? Just wait. Okay, I will show you. Now I'm entering. Can you see me? Yeah, should be there. Where is it? No? Let me share my screen. Okay, this is the, okay, what you can do is that you go to explore. Okay, you go to explore. Okay, you just need to type here, search it, thematic. Okay, thematic analysis. Because I'm having network problem. Thematic analysis. Okay, just wait for a while. It's not moving. Okay, thematic analysis. There are many. There are many free chatbot you can use. Okay, but I'm not sure the one others whether they are actually what you call it, using Brown and Clark or not. But mine is actually using Brown and Clark. Okay, if you search it, you can get it. Okay, someone search it? Okay, here, thematic analysis body. I call it as body. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm not sure if I cannot. It's not. It say here no result found because of might be my line. So, but you will get this. You will get this thematic analysis. Content failed to load. Okay, because I having problem with my. I'm not sure why. The UTM Wi-Fi. Okay. Oh, I can use it here. Okay. Wait. Just wait for a while. But I need to log in chat GPT lah kan kat sebelah ni. Okay, just wait for a while. Because I'm having problem with my notebook. I'm not sure why. Go. Okay, just wait. And wait for the attendant also. We will view the attendant sheet after this. Okay, so you have to show. So saya kena stop sharing kan? Okay. So, if I use this one, okay, for example, I want to start thematic analysis for interview. Login fail. Line. I think something wrong with the line. I check GPT down. No. I think the Wi-Fi. Okay. Oh, chat GPT down. Some people say that chat GPT down. I'm not sure. Stop sharing. Let me try to use this. Okay. Stop sharing. Just wait for a while. Let me try to use ChatGPT from this computer. Mhm. Chen say that ChatGPT is down. Not sure. Okay. But you can try it. Let me, because I cannot share that. Mhm. It's down. Chen. No, it's scared. Okay, here, if you go to thematic analysis body, okay, say I want to start thematic analysis. Okay, just yeah, the line is slow here. I'm not sure why UTM line slow, but you can start to ask. For example, reported something went wrong. No, something is not went wrong. Okay. For example, here I show you the existing chat that I already done. Okay, this is the existing chat that I already done. This is the existing chat that I already done. Okay, you can see here. Okay, when I upload the data, I can upload the data. When I upload the data here, the Microsoft Word data, it helped me to analyze it. For example, here, you can see here, I interview memo, I upload it here. I say that help me to identify the codes, but I need to tell ChatGPT, this ChatGPT buddy, what is my research question? Because it will ask you this question first. For example, here, okay, when I use it, it say, what are your research question? Okay, then I start to type. My research question is this. What is my main aim? And I'm using the inductive. I say next, it will put it here, the step. Okay, and after that, I say start with a memo template. Okay, it give me a memo template. So it guide me to classify my data according to this memo template. After that, when I transform my data according to the memo template, I upload my interview data. This is my interview data. Help me to identify. So ChatGPT help me to identify here the initial code. This is the initial code. And from participant 1, participant 2, participant 3, participant 4, participant 5. Okay. And next step, it asks me, okay, what you like to group this code into potential teams? Okay, I said, can you provide it in a table with column? Say column 1, participant ID. Column 2, example of accept. Column 3 is the code. So it provide me. Can you see that? It provide me. Participant 1, example of accept, initial code. Then I ask again, from all the codes, can you suggest the team to answer my research question? Because I already put my research question there. The first prompt, I inform my research question. So it show here, okay, codes required, and it's that team 1, team 2, and team 3. And it summarizes like this. Team, brief description, and propose. And I say, can you provide in the table, column 1, participant ID, column 2, example accept, column 3, codes, column 4, teams that based on similar code. So it put it here. You see that? It put me the example of accept, codes, and team. Then I ask again, okay, now make it team as a first column. So it put it here. Team, codes, example of accept, and also here the codes that I use, the participant. Okay. I ask again to combine the participant. It combine it. You see that? It combine it. And after that, I say, okay. I say phase 4. Now they say, it asks me, help moving to phase 4. Yes, I want to move to phase 4, reviewing the teams. So it helped me to review the team. It review it. Team 1, it say that, okay, no change needed. Teams 2, slightly need to change. This is where you start need to read. You need to read on the comment by AI, artificial intelligence. It said that it's inconsistency in my teams. Okay. Then it so that it next step is say that, okay, I want you to update the table and then number 1, 2, and 3, because I only agree on certain comment. So it update me. You see that? It update me the team. That is step number 4, where you're reviewing the team. After that, I want it to Now moving on your requested item. So I want to focus on phase 5, which actually refine the theme. So ChatGPT helped me to refine the description of the theme, but I need to read whether it's correct or not. Okay. So next, I asked it produce a thematic map. This one is not really nice. It only produce simple thematic maps like this. Okay. Another example that I did it yesterday also. Okay. Example number 2, this one. Okay. When I use it, this one again. Okay. Okay. I click it. Okay. It asks me the question. So I type it. What is my question? Okay. And it start. And I upload my data, sample data. You see that? This is my sample data that I upload. So it helped me to define the codes. And this is a code that come up and you have to read. Make sure the code really reflect your research question. Okay, let us try the new one. I'm not sure whether it's running or not. Thematic analysis. You just click. Okay, I want to start thematic analysis. So it will tell you what it asks you. What are your research questions? What is the main aim? Okay, you need to answer. How do you answer it? You copy this all. Copy all this. Put it here. Paste. Then you start to replace it. What is your research question? Okay, you type it here. What is your research question? Then you press Shift Enter, and because you're not done yet. Okay, what is your aim? Okay, type your aim here. Aim. What? Okay. Next. What is your themative? It's inductive. Okay, if you are doing deductive, give the theme. If you're doing deductive, give the themes to this ChatGPT. Okay, so themes, and then you say inductive. Okay, I'm only going to deductive. Okay, develop. If you use deductive, give it the theme. Then you start it. Okay, next you just enter. So it tells you the step. Then it guide you from step 1, step 2, step 3, 4, 5, 6, according to Brown and Clark. Because I already customized this ChatGPT. Okay, so I hope that is where you can use it. Let me check the, what you call it, the response. Okay, just wait for a while from it. Okay. Okay. This look good from my end here. Okay. Okay. Prof, it open here. Okay. For me, it's okay. And great, it has opened now. Okay, you can try it. Okay, this is the attendant form for you to get the e-cert. But for those who attend the session in this lab, you can scan the QR code. Okay, for your attendant e-cert. So if you have any question, you can type your question in the chat, or you can just say it in the WebEx. I will take question around 5 minutes because I actually have another meeting at 3:45. Okay, those who in the lab is already scanned. You done, Okay, so let me stop sharing. Let me look at it. Okay, what do you think about that thematic analysis body, the chat board that I customize it according to 6 steps by Brown and Clark. I hope it will assist you to do your qualitative data analysis. Either you are doing it as inductive or deductive. If you do it as deductive, if you do a deductive, you need to give the code book. What does it mean, code book? You have this theme. What is the description of the theme? What is the sample of accept? You give that to ChatGPT. That one will be totally accurate. If you do deductive, because when you do deductive, you have already the themes or the codes, isn't it? Then you have the description. You have example of accept. You give it. You upload it to the ChatGPT. You say that this is a deductive code books that I would like to use from the data that I will upload it after this. And of course, ChatGPT will help you. Okay. Any questions from the WebEx? If not, thank you very much. Good luck. I hope that my sharing session will assist you on doing your qualitative data analysis. open your mind on how to do it. It's so simple, but you have to sit down. But even though it's simple, of course, as a researcher, if you ask me, sometimes to come up with the themes, okay? To come up with the theme, you're also confused. This is where ChatGPT can help you. But you need to read. Don't totally believe on the theme that formulated by ChatGPT. You need to read. You need to read it. Because sometimes might be the theme is divert from your research question. Remember though, when you do qualitative data analysis, you have to hold your research question. And don't divert it from your research question. Okay, that's very important. Okay, thank you very much to all. That's all I think. I will share the recording later on. Okay, Assalamualaikum. Okay, bye.